it's like real life stuff going on. Life is bigger than football.
How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about the very scary incident involving Buffalo Bills safety Damar Hamlin. And before I say anything, I just want to say to Mr. Hamlin, please get well soon. He suffered cardiac arrest on the football field after a hit that appeared to be kind of routine, but obviously it was not. They performed CPR and AED right there on the field. They had to defibrillate his heart to get it back beating. As of right now, his heart is beating. His vitals are back to normal, but he has been intubated, if I'm not mistaken, and he's still in critical condition. So may he get well soon, and prayers out to his family, his friends, and to all the players on the field who had to witness him on the football field for 9 minutes, really fighting for his life. Now, there's a lot to unpack in this situation, a lot of theories that have been floating around, a lot of different angles to approach this situation. But I think before I start, I want to look at a news clip so we can get some context. And all the clips I'll refer to will be in the description so you can see what's happening without my commentary. But without further ado, let's go ahead and roll it.
Terrifying moment involving Buffalo Bills safety Damar Hamlin. He collapsed on the field last night in a game against the Cincinnati Bengals, and players from both teams watched as he was given CPR. In a statement, the Bills say, quote, Damar Hamlin suffered a cardiac arrest following a hit in the Buffalo Bills game versus the Cincinnati Bengals. His heartbeat was restored on the field, and he was transferred to the University of Cincinnati Medical Center for further testing and treatment. He was currently sedated and listed in critical condition. Hamlin is just 24 years old. We're going to show you what happened, but I must warn you, it is difficult to watch.
I think people are well aware that we are finished watching football here tonight.
That stunning announcement came after a highly anticipated matchup between two teams vying for the top playoff seed in the AFC came to an abrupt halt Monday night.
Here's Higgins wide open.
9 minutes into the first quarter, Buffalo Bills safety Damar Hamlin tackled Bengals wide receiver T. Higgins. Hamlin got up after the hit, but then suddenly collapsed.
And that is Damar.
Now, we got to pause right here. Now, some are going to say, well, hey, that looked pretty routine. That wasn't really a hard hit. A lot of times in football, there can be a hit that appears to be routine, but it isn't. A lot of guys get surgery during the season, after the season, and you're like, hey, why are they getting surgery? What happened? Well, throughout the course of a game, there are a bunch of hits, and most hits the average person couldn't take. It doesn't matter if you have helmets, pads on, or whatever. This is why they ban helmet to helmet, because if you hit somebody with a helmet on, yes, you have a helmet to protect yourself, but the helmet that you're wearing will cause a lot of damage to the other person, even if they have pads and helmets and everything else. If you hit somebody the right way at the wrong time, it can cause very serious damage. Helmet or no helmet, pads or no pads.
Hamlin.
Medical personnel quickly descended to administer CPR to Hamlin. The Bills said Hamlin went into cardiac arrest and his heartbeat was restored on the field. Players on both sides were visibly upset, some crying and others taking a knee to pray. Hamlin was then loaded into an ambulance on the field. His team knelt together in a circle as he was driven away. Hamlin is now at the University of Cincinnati Medical Center in critical condition.
It was so jarring.
Sam Farmer has been covering the NFL for 25 years.
It wasn't until you looked into the face of the players and saw their reaction did you realize that this was something extraordinary.
More than an hour after the injury, the NFL officially postponed the game. As fans filed out of the stadium, a group traveled to the hospital, lighting candles and praying together. Hamlin's injury follows other frightening scenes on the field this season that has put the NFL under scrutiny over player safety. Miami Dolphins quarterback Tua Tagovailoa sustained 3 blows to the head this season, resulting in at least 2 concussions. He returned to play in 2 of those games. While the NFL ruled concussion protocols were followed, the league did make amendments to its policies in October after his first 2 hits.
This highly unusual and probably unprecedented situation of suspending a game will be scrutinized in terms of could that have been done quicker? Should that have been done quicker? Should an hour have elapsed before that decision was announced?
So that's the story right there. Like I said, very traumatic, very difficult to watch. And I just want to send prayers out to everybody involved. But there's a lot more we need to discuss here. There were quite a few reactions to this incident, not only to the incident on the field itself, like the actual play that resulted in the cardiac arrest, basically a heart attack, but people were talking about the actual game being postponed because this was between the Cincinnati Bengals and the Buffalo Bills. We're at about postseason time, so this game was very crucial to determine the postseason, the playoffs. So for them to postpone it right now, it's like, okay, what are we going to do now? Now, Skip Bayless asked this question. He later apologized. Well, I don't know if he apologized, but he asked the question and got a lot of kickback, but I don't think people really read his tweet properly. You see what it says right here. No doubt the NFL is considering postponing the rest of this game, but how? This late in the season, a game of this magnitude is crucial to the regular season outcome, which suddenly seems so irrelevant. Now, people were taking this the wrong way, in my humble opinion. People thought that he was talking about, well, we can't cancel the game. I mean, what are we going to do? But we got to, this is important. The game is important. So people thought that he was just trying to dismiss what happened to Damar Hamlin. But I think if you read the entire tweet and leave the emotions out of it, look at the end where he says, well, it seems so irrelevant. So from me, in my humble opinion, I'm interpreting this as, what is the NFL going to do in a situation where the actual game that's being played that's so important now is irrelevant because of what happened on the field? You know, he's saying that the game is irrelevant because of what happened. He's defending Damar Hamlin here. I mean, maybe I'm wrong. Y'all let me know how you feel about this in the comments below. But this tweet right here blew up. I saw a tweet that said he apologized, but I did not see that. He went back to his show called Undisputed this morning, and he was saying he apologized for anybody being offended at how they're going to approach the show. Shannon Sharp was not there. I guess he just could not do it. It's just too much. Even Skip said that he was shaken up. And before this tweet, he was sending prayers out to Damar Hamlin's family. So I don't believe that he was trying to disrespect Damar Hamlin here at all. Now, here's the next elephant in the room. People are saying this is vax related because of all the athletes who have, collapsed on the field over the past few years. Well, not few years, maybe a couple years, like stuff like this, right? Athletes just, okay, no contact, just collapsing. Like right here during warm-ups, they just stretching and they collapse. They say that the thing that happened to Damar Hamlin is another one of these. I don't think so. I don't think that Damar Hamlin's situation is this. I think he actually did get hit, and as a result of getting hit, he suffered what they call commotio cordis. I think that's what happened here. I don't think it's vax related. Now, could I be wrong? Sure. This is just my opinion, nothing more, nothing less. Now, I'm going to show a doctor talk about commotio cordis so we get a little bit more information on that. And you guys can let me know what you think in the comments. Is it commotio cordis? Is it the vax? And again, this is only our opinion. I don't know. I've not examined Mr. Hamlin. I don't know anything. All I can do is make an assumption or a guess based off of what I see on the football field. But that's all I can do. Based on the information that I know and this here and knowing about the vax, all I can do is just guess. Now, are some injuries or some things happen to athletes on the football field a result of the vax? Probably, yes. I don't think this is one of them. Let's go ahead and roll this clip right here to see what commotio cordis is.
Certainly something called commotio cordis, an extremely rare condition that's one of those things that we typically only think we're going to read about in textbooks. Essentially what can happen is if you have a blunt trauma to the chest that occurs at exactly the right time in the cardiac electrical cycle, your heart can be sent into cardiac arrest. As Hamlin comes in here, we can see this square hit to the front of his chest. We see him get back up momentarily before ultimately collapsing back down to the ground and requiring CPR on the field. This is a tracing of our heart's electrical activity. Basically, this is one cycle of the heart squeezing. Starts off with this P wave, which is the electrical activity of the atrium at the top of the heart squeezing, then the QRS complex, which is going to be the ventricles acting. But then the last phase is this T wave, where the ventricle basically depolarizes and kind of resets to get ready for the next cycle. For commotio cordis to happen, you have to suffer this blunt trauma to the chest at exactly the right moment, specifically on this upstroke of the T wave, in order for the heart to then be sent into this arrhythmia and subsequent cardiac arrest. This is one of those things that not only do you have to have a high enough force, but it has to happen within milliseconds of a time window, because if that impact comes at any other time in this electrical cycle, you're fine. You don't go into this. But when it happens at just this right time during this upstroke of the T wave, and if it's high enough, then you can have this thing called commotio cordis. We typically think of it happening in baseball players whenever they get hit in the middle of the chest with a hard thrown ball, but unfortunately
So that could have been what happened here. That most certainly could have been what happened. And I'm gonna come back so you can see me clearly so I can wrap it on up, put the bow on it. That probably happened. Again, I have no way of knowing that for sure. I can't say that it was that it wasn't that. I don't know. But the way he explained it makes sense. You see, a lot of the other things I showed, as far as people just collapsing, athletes collapsing on the field, there was no contact involved. They're just stretching, warming up. All of a sudden, just pass out. That's not what happened here. There was a hit. Now, people say, again, that it was routine, but you try and put on pads and the helmet and everything else, and then get hit full speed. Some man, 6'3", 225 pounds, solid muscle, that's a trained athlete, trained to hit, trained to actually get you on the ground, so it's going to hurt. Try getting hit like that. You can hear the actual impact on camera. So it wasn't just like he just fell down for no reason. There was a hit. It may not appear to be very traumatic or gruesome, but obviously it was. Or it most likely was, due to him passing out shortly afterward. He got up, try to get right back to the play, but his heart stopped on the field. As per the doctor's statement, they said that he had cardiac arrest. His heart stopped, he had a heart attack. And then they shocked it back on the field. But as I close, I want to say this again. Prayers out to Damar Hamlin. May he get well soon, make a full recovery. Prayers out to his family, friends, everybody that was involved, everybody that was right there on the football field. I mean, seeing grown adult men like alpha males just crying tears, that's tough. That's tough. That's really tough to watch. It was tough to watch the injury, and then the reaction made it worse. This is just overall pretty bad. I'm not sure what the NFL is going to do as far as making up the game. That's not important, obviously, as Damar Hamlin's health. But hopefully we get some updates here pretty soon, and we get some positive news as it relates to his recovery. But I think I'll leave that right there for now. And what say you? What do you think happened here? Was this commotio cordis? Was it the vax? What do you think, in your humble opinion, what do you think happened? Whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments below. You guys pretty much know where I'm at. I think this is more of a conventional explanation rather than talking about the vax. Has the vax impacted a lot of people with injuries that people don't want to talk about? Yes, absolutely. I'm probably one of the biggest critics of the vax. But just because I'm a critic of the vax does not mean I can't recognize football injuries or sports injuries when they happen. You know, I'm not just going to label everything as one thing. But to those who do, I understand, because we've been lied to so much. We've been told so many falsehoods, so many just untruths. It makes sense to just not believe things that are put out there and revert back to what they've been lying about the whole time. It does make sense to do that. But whatever your thoughts are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.